The next top story is book review. Nobody wants your crap. This is June 30th, books and articles territory from Siggy 47. 27 comments, 11,096 sats. Keon, what's this?
Yeah, Siggy is recommending a book um, called "Nobody Wants Your Shoot." I try not to curse, follow your lead, um, but it's basically about helping your heirs or people who are going to manage your estate after you die by getting rid of a lot of your junk that no one wants, especially things that are of pure sentimental value to you, um, and just making it easier. And this is very like topical for me because I've been participating and watching people deal with the death of a loved one, and kind of the unexpected death of a loved one, and all of the kind of stuff that they have to do that they never expected to do. And so yeah, I think and beyond just getting rid of a lot of your junk, um, also just preparing for a transition where anything that anyone needs access to, they can get access to, is also very smart. Like my father-in-law, they were running a short-term rental business and managing other properties and stuff, but he was the one who had access to all the bank accounts and all the administrative stuff. And when he was gone, that became very tricky for them to continue running their business and not hang their customers out to dry. So I think just yeah, decluttering is also a big part. They have a big storage unit full of stuff that they're going to have to figure out what to do with, because it's you don't you also it's not just that you have to deal with it when you inherit all of this stuff. It's that on some level you feel like they were keeping it for a reason, and getting rid of it is somehow like disrespectful to their like memory. And so and people don't know how important that stuff was to you. Maybe you just put it in storage because you didn't care about it much, but you didn't want to get rid of it exactly. But for them, they don't know to what extent you valued it, so they might just end up holding on to it forever. And anyway, I thought it was. Siggy talks about this in the context. He says he's a bit of a hoarder, and he's found himself after a friend decluttering more and getting rid of more of his stuff. Not because he's ready to die or anything, but just because perhaps this made him aware that just for his living self, maybe he doesn't need to be, um, he doesn't want his crap either. He doesn't want to inherit his own crap from himself. Anyway, that's the gist of this book that
Yeah,
he shared.
yeah. I think the craziest story I ever heard was one of my neighbors. His father, uh, like yeah, kind of similar to what you said. Like he didn't have any, like I guess he like lost all connection with his kids, and uh, and so he had like this estate worth a lot of money. And my neighbor was telling me one time where like they randomly found him. He was like the last living heir of like this estate, this property, and like all this money. And like it was basically his. And I remember when he was telling me the story, I was like, really? And the guy was just like he was just living in Austin. He used to live on the east side, next to me and my cousin's house. And like one day he was like living there across the street from us, and then the next day he was like rich in Bastrop, and it was just like it was like the weirdest thing, you know. And then we go visit him, and it was just like this guy. But it was crazy though because he was married, he had kids and stuff, and he was very humble, like living on the east side. He lived like in the back. He had like a, what do you call, like a mother-in-law's house. He lived like in the back of that with his
Yeah,
family.
rear unit. Yeah,
Yeah, and he didn't have
Yeah.
like a steady job. He worked like in the music industry or in the music scene here around town. So he would do like all the whenever there was like ACL or whatever, he would be like one of the people that would put together all the stages and stuff. So he would only work like seasonally whenever there was things in town, and his wife worked at like a bank or whatever. But I remember, dude, like he went. It was like one day, and then all this was going on, and we were hanging out with him. He was telling. I remember at the time, I was telling my cousin, I was like, I just don't believe him. Like, I just like, there's no way like this would like, you know. And it was so weird because he would never talk about his father, and if he did, it was like very seldom. And then, and yeah, and then sure enough, we went to his house, and it was like a beautiful house and everything. And then like 5 years later, I was talking to my cousin. He was telling me that like, yeah, he got divorced, and like it like changed him. It like
Oh no.
I know. So whenever I think of stuff like that, it always just reminds me of that guy because it was just like he got like his yeah, it just got handed down to him, and it was yeah, changed his life. Anyways,
Oh yeah, sounds like not maybe not for the better exactly, but
yeah.
yeah,
Even
that
when
does sound similar to that. So, rather than getting like, oh, go ahead.
now I was just gonna say, even when it's stuff that people would think they would want, it's not even worth it, right? Or it probably is probably stuff that you don't want either, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think it probably not for everyone. Probably some people deal with like an airdrop of money effectively pretty well. But I think I forget it. I think it was Jimmy who said something about like Bitcoin getting you rich kind of slowly tends to make
Oh yeah,
you not be much of an idiot with money, um, and you don't because it didn't come all at once. I forget exactly. I might be butchering whatever point he was making, but I do think that is probably somewhat important. Um, but I've known people who came into wealth who were cool, who just they were chill and they didn't really do much or add much value back into society or anything, but they weren't like ass buttholes about everything and divorce their wife because they have money now or whatever.
yeah. Good post, Siggy. You have a long way to go, Siggy. Don't be thinking about
Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah, but no one you shouldn't be a hoarder. No one needs to be a hoarder. You'll feel better. You'll feel, in my opinion, you'll feel better having less stuff.
Yeah, totally. I definitely would say like once a year, like definitely throw away stuff for sure. Give away stuff. I'm a big fan of like giving things away. I'm a big fan of that. Like give as much away as you can, and then you'll get blessed with more things. I've noticed. Like the more you give away in your life, um, you just get blessed with more, 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 more. I've just noticed in my life. So that's what I do.